excited today. I'm going to be sharing with you my 3 tips, indeed 3 tips to be successful, to be on top of your world and to feel happy and to conquer your day, every single day. Okay, I got here my notes, but I don't really need them because I basically thought about this video some time ago and then I scribbled some notes down just so I don't forget to make this video. And I do get asked this kind of question quite a lot, is how can you be successful, how can you be, how can you do what you want to do and to be happy with what you do? And that's a very good question, and I will get now into explaining my 3 tips of how to be successful and at the end of the day to embrace your own way of living, your own cosmic theory. Because each and every one of us has his own way of living. There's no right or wrong as far as you respect the people around you and the environment and the nature, then you're good to go. But to do that, it is a long way, and there are definitely steps to get there, because it doesn't happen overnight. It definitely takes, it is a journey. So let's get into it. Tip number 1. Every one of us has got a childhood, has got the problems, has got their own experiences. Some of them they're amazing, but some of them they're not that great. And whatever happens, I believe, from a very young age, it definitely affects the way that we think and the way that we embrace problems and difficulties and the way we define life afterwards. So what I would say is that with whatever happened in your childhood, some people, they have to go through immense difficulties, and a lot of us has to go through some very serious problems. And as a child, because your soul and your thinking, it's so clean and pure, it definitely leaves a bigger impact as to your behavior and personality. However, there is a point in our lives that we are able to say the great yes and the great no. And I will explain what that means. The great yes is whereby you allow those problems to define you. You're allowing those difficulties to shape your future. You're using them as an alibi for your failures. You're using them as an alibi for whatever happens. Normally it will be bad. Or you will say the great no. You will say the great no as to, it will not define me. This is not who I am. You can use them as an ingredient to allow you to overcome them, but you do not allow them to define you as a person. And there is always that tip in our life, there's that moment in our life that you will have to say the great yes and the great no. For me personally, it was when I was 5. I've lost my mother, and you have to go through a lot into understanding what death means at a small age, and how the people behave around you, and that has a great impact in your childhood, into my childhood. And there was a moment in my life around when I was 15 years old that I've taken a conscious decision and saying that this is not going to bring me down. This is not going to stop me from doing what I wanted. I could say the opposite. The particular experience made me stronger. It made me more determined as to what I want to do, and it allowed me to crystallize my vision, my goals, my dreams and my passion, and to love and surrender to love itself through all my relationship, whether that means my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my friends. And you do say the great yes and the great no, and there will be a crossroads, like where all the paths, the kind of they're in a common place, and then you will have to make that decision. So each and every one of us will have to say the great yes and the great no. That you will get to that point, and you need to be aware that you will get to that point in your life whereby you're going to need to say the yes or the no, whether it's going to define you or not. Tip number 2 is the choice. You will make a choice. you will say whether to yourself whether this is you, and therefore you will allow everything to to define you, and you will use all these problems as an alibi, and 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 it will be a choice of your life. There is nobody to blame for, it's just yourself. So take your life into your hands and lead it where you want it to be. And please be aware, we're not here forever. We're here for a very short amount of time. And for me, that gives me a somehow relief as to doing the things that I want to do, knowing that we're not here forever, and knowing that we should return back to the community, we should give value, we should help people around us, and not to forget to be humans. Regardless of what our profession is, regardless of what we do, we should be tailoring our life according to the measures that we define them, as to what we feel it's fit for our life. Tip number 3 as to be successful is ask the question, why? What you choose to do, ask yourself the 5 whys. For example, I wanted to be a barrister, I wanted to be a lawyer. Why? Because I like law. Why? Because doing law is challenging. Why? It is challenging because it allows me to expand my limits. Why? Because through expanding my limits, I discover who I am and I define the person that I want to be. By asking why to yourself when you take a decision, it allows you to get to the bottom of your choice and really knowing all the strands of that decision. So that means you do not allow a gap of not knowing who you are and why you're making those choices. So therefore, let me summarize for you: to create your own theory, your own way of living, the way to succeed in your life is through 3 very basic steps. Awareness that there will be a point in your life you will reach the crossroads of deciding, of taking the decision of the great yes or the great no. There is the choice that you have to make on that point. And last but not least, you will have to ask, when you get to make that choice, you're going to have to ask yourself 5 times why you're making that choice. And you will get to the conclusion of knowing what you want. It's not something that all those points that I just mentioned is through reading different books, speaking to different people, travel to countries, and analyzing in my head different ways and embracing some of them. And I was on my way back from work and I was walking, and it just clicked in my mind that this is the way, those are the 3 main steps that you have to follow regardless. And once you've gone through those 3 main steps, you reach moksha, peace with yourself. And if you reach moksha, then you are towards the stage of samsara. And that means peace with yourself and being happy with what you have and being present. Not meaning that you do not want more, but you being happy and grateful with your current stage and moving towards creating more. Those are my 3 steps for success, and to define success into your own terms, your own theory of life. Please leave a comment down below as to what is your theory. How do you overcome the problems? What do you do? Do you have any other tips or tricks to be successful? Those are the general ones. This is the nutshell. This is the theory. If you're interested to listen to my practical steps as to how you can become successful and what do you do to become successful, please let me on the comment section down below, and I'll be very happy to share it with you, because I do have a routine, and I will be very happy to share that with you. Whatever you do, have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!